why I believe the jobs will be replaced, and that is something that you guys should understand. Because when we first enter, whether it is agriculture or industrial revolution, the one of the most common theme is, you move from rural, village, farm, towns into big city. That's where the jobs shifted to. Industrial revolution, and then you have worker unions, then you have child labor, then you have everyone is having a job. But the moment you have technological society, we then have a piece of resume. Go up to the person and ask why, you want to know about your experience and why you want to apply for the job. Okay, there you go. There wasn't many people to compete for the job because everyone's having work. When you enter technological and how it has evolved today is shrinking unemployment, underemployment, job shifted, whether it's third world country or robots, due to fast, efficient, cheap, effective costs. Right? One thing that stood out the most is the fact of a robot can switch on 24/7 without sick pay, worker unions, or everything. Now, you simply can lose your job if you say something wrong at the workplace. If you're touching political correctness, if you say one word is wrong, you lose your job. It's so fragile than ever than before in human history. The jobs are a lot more fragile than ever before. Since I blab on 2 minutes, let's go through the modern day on getting a job. What's it like? Okay, so here you go. So what you see here, we've got the base. All right, you practice your job interview questions. Right, I wish I had a stick or something. Okay, I don't have a stick. Great. Okay, cool. So yeah, you practice your job interview questions right from the mirror or your friends or your peers, and finding out, or some people lie on job interview questions, or blah blah blah. Then you got to be really good with your resume and cover letter. Right, resume and cover letter, you apply online nowadays. As I mentioned to you guys before, before you go up to a shop or to a business, or even some businesses drag you from the street and get a job. Now you got resume and cover letter, right? But you submit it online. That's when the technology kicks in, right? When you submit online, there's going to be thousands of people submitting all together, all right? Then, if you're a lucky picker from 1,000, you get a phone interview, all right? And obviously, you must ace it from the practice job interview. Not only just that, with the job interview, you have to accept the day that they requested you to come. Actually, I shouldn't skip that. I'll probably skip that. The webcam questionnaire and phone interview, it may vary. It's either way before or after. And you have to pass that. But I know for the phone interview, they wanted to ask you, are you available? Or they send you emails saying that, are you available to attend this and this date on introduction or job interview? Right? Then some jobs has, the most popular group interview. Group interviews, it varies from small to large numbers. Now, most of the employers, they like to do sections, phases per day. can be nerve-wracking on a group interview. Very, very nerve-wracking. Everyone's competing together, just fighting for the same role. Then, after you have a group interview, I should have left something in the middle. You kind of have assessment activities. You have activities among your peers, right? You may have some, peers, and then you have, you better introduce yourself and how do you communicate, verbal communicate right in front of the entire class, like I said, class, but entire room. And after that, you have a one-on-one interview with a supervisor, right? Then once that's completed, then you hit to stage 3. Then God knows what sort of rounds of interview stages you have to go through. And the catch of this is that you must be free on that day to attend. You have to. If not, you're not getting the job. Sorry, you're not passing through. So whether it takes 3 days or 4 days interviews, they varies from stages or different weeks or different months, and you have to get to that stage. And obviously, you know what? There's so many things you have to pass. Then you pass that. I left one here. You got police check. Police check, or if you're working with minors, you have children's check. Or whatever certificate you guys have. You guys may need to do more training. Then you have to go through physical and psychological tests. Now, this may varies from jobs. Some jobs may not have it, but this kind of new thing has been rapidly growing since. Then you have literacy and numeracy tests, depending on the job. Then you have reference check. Then your reference checks has to be within 2 years, right, employer. Then finally, you're interviewed by the manager, then signed the contract once the interviewed outcome sounds pretty good and mellow. So that's many stages to master to get a job in today's world. Now, why am I saying this? All right, why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? And I'm pretty sure most of you guys say, well, that's no shit, Will. I've been through all that. I've got a job. Good for you, mate. But I'm saying the majority of the people, right? Going through all this here, right? It seems like it's getting tougher and tougher. I know the physical and psychological test is a huge, big thing in nowadays world. Before, it wasn't a big thing. Now it's a big thing because of many people are coming and sue for work cover and, this and that because, don't want to get sued or don't want to hire the person. Basically, they have mental health or they have a bit of barriers or boundaries that they cannot work and they can, they can get to choose. That's a long list. Now, I think there's a lot more than this. But this is the basic one. I'm pretty sure other jobs are a lot different than this. And I'm not going to say anything, but I do know in the future it's going to be a lot more than this. And remember earlier in the video what I said. Back in Industrial Revolution, you probably knock on someone's business door and say you want a job. You get a job. And slowly after that, you got a resume. Right? You hand in face to face. Then you have this, going through all this. And why I truly believe automation will succeed. First things first is nowadays workplace, they like to hire less workers and do the same amount of work with 5 workers, right? Or 3 workers. So they're squeezing them. They're squeezing every single stamina of your brain. Unlike, Industrial Revolution, agriculture, you hire as much as people, labors are cheap. Now it's more expensive. Well, I got to think of annual leave, holiday leave, or some of them have maternity leave, sick pay, day in lieu, and tax, super, it's just too much. Where a robot, automation, can replace jobs that were very repetitive or technical. God knows how this is going to go, but yeah, guys can't understand what I'm saying. That's why I truly believe automation will be the key, because they passed everything. They're programmed 24 hours. What is the difference between you and a robot? Honestly, if you think about it, they never make a mistake or error. The only time they make an error is when they're dysfunctional or parts of their, the element is, you need to replace. But in the future, I don't know how it's going to go. And what's the funny thing about this whole thing? Now, most people go to university and, where teachers are trying to make you blame the patriarchal, blame men who make this whole thing, and blame the government. Where this is the process that everyone has to go through, whether it's patriarchal or not. That's most jobs. Where regardless if it's low skill or high skill, the more high skill, the more of this list is more relevant. But I get to see the entry-level jobs decided to enter this phase a lot stronger than before. And for example, my girlfriend, who works in one job for more than 2-3 years, she cannot make the reference check because she only has one reference. So she's been telling me, how the hell am I going to get a job? Good question, huh? She's been working in one industry for that many years. And if you don't have a second or third reference, bye-bye. And that's why I said automation will be the key, just to scrap the whole thing. Just too much. Before it's just only just face-to-face supervisor or manager interview. Now we've created all this here. Ridiculous. And that's the way how it is. I guess, you got to pick the best of the best worker. And once that worker got sick of it, or got mental health or maternity leave or whatever, they're not afraid to hire someone else. And when they do, they hire the best of the best, because now they wanted the best of the best instead of having 5 workers. And drain that person out and find the next person. And if you keep doing that, eventually you run out of all of them, because they'll fail the psychological test or the physical test because they say, oh my God, they got burnout. And I see a lot of workers are not happy. Budget, KPI.